Om Namah Shivaya. Mic test. Om Namah Shivaya. Mic test. Om Namah Shivaya, Mr. Anand. So you are one of the panelists.
Chinna? Bro, never power. Very good morning, everyone. You are heartily welcome to the third day of this wonderful faculty development program by Atal Manet. So yes, before starting off today's session, I would like to give all of us a short glimpse about our yesterday's discussions and the successful day 2 of the Atal FD. And I begin by saying that the second day of the faculty development program of life skill empowerment for holistic personality development by Manet under Atal had welcomed the pioneer of neuro-linguistic programming, Sri Ram Verma, who had addressed the gathering of faculty members, which was followed by Acharya Pratishtha from Mauritius, who spoke on the yogic wisdom for holistic life. And after all of this, it was very well concluded, and we once again thank the wonderful participation of all of these the participants and esteemed faculty members. I would now take the opportunity to welcome our esteemed speaker for the day, Mrs. Divya Kanchivoli ma'am. You're very welcome, ma'am. I would just briefly say a few words about her before we start the session. So, Ms. Divya ma'am would be talking on mind-body breath correlation for achieving happiness and success. Ms. Divya is the Executive Director of Sri Sri Institute of Advanced Research and is leading the institute to make it a world-famous innovation hub for undertaking advanced research in global ancient knowledge system, including the area of yoga, pranayam, meditation, Ayurveda, and other holistic systems for societal transformation and sustainable development of humanity. She has been a vivid participant in various national and international conferences, and she has also been working actively with the Art of Living Foundation for Noble Causes in the US as well as in India. We once again welcome you, ma'am, and we hope to learn from your kind words. Over to you, ma'am. And before that, I also request our Chief Coordinator, Dr. Meena Agrawal, to say a few words about ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Tanmay. Good morning, all my faculty colleagues. Adivya Didi, Pranam. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. It's our pleasure to have such a eminent personality with us today from Art of Living, Dr. Divya Kanchi Potla. She is, as Tanmay has told you, she is heading the research institute, Sri Sri Research Institute. She is director there, and lot many feathers she is having in her cap. And it's our proud privilege to be with her today. And what to say about Art of Living? Everybody globally, it's known about. Let's begin with offering our pranams to Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji. I'll request everybody to just pray and offer our pranams to such eminent figures. हमारा सबका सौभाग्य है कि हम इस समय पे हैं जब गुरुदेव हैं यहाँ पर, and we can get direct guidance from Gurudev. And I have been very proud to have Gurudev at Bhopal and many other programs also, and I myself am connected to. I have done many programs of Art of Living. Every time whatever program is organized, we are there. Always we are there. So we are very happy, and Art of Living is a name for happiness, happiness program and everything. So not taking much of time between Divya Didi and our faculty colleagues. Yes, Divya Didi, I request you to proceed with all the things.
Thank you, Meena ji. Thank you, Tanmay. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here amongst all of our esteemed participants and the team here to speak a little bit about happiness and success and what role does mind body interventions like Sudarshan Kriya or breathing exercises, yoga, what role do they play? Is English and okay me? I can speak in English. English is fine, right?
Yeah, certainly, because we
great.
have all over.
So
India.
great. So I'll be sharing my screen and showing you a PowerPoint as we go along, just to stay together. 1 second, I'll just do the share screen. You're able to see my screen, right? So today we are
Yes,
going to
ma'am,
talk
absolutely.
about,
Thank
in our life, if we have to ask anybody what they want from the time they're a child to the time they're 90 years old, the first thing they will say is happiness, isn't it? In fact, why do we even want a good partner? Or why do we even want success? Or why do we even want money so that, we can have security? Why do we want a good life partner so that, we can be happy? So ultimately, it's a very basic human need or a desire, or rather a need, I would say, to be happy. And success is important because all of us are professionals here. So having success in what we do is very important. So let's talk about these two elements of our life and then talk about the connection between the breath, body, and mind and these things. Yeah. So in the field of, about 20 years ago, a field emerged called the positive psychology. I'm sure you all must have heard about it. Before that, psychology used to be all about negative things, feeling sad, not feeling okay. But actually, one thing before that, I would like to talk about SSIER, but you already spoke about SSIER. So just a little bit about SSIER, Sri Sri Institute of Advanced Research. We are the research wing under Art of Living, and Tanmay has already introduced it, so I won't spend much time on it. So like I said, happiness. We all want it, but it's such an elusive thing sometimes because, the tendency of the mind is to postpone happiness or to attach it to things, to say that, okay, when I'm a kid, I think, oh, once I become a little bit older, when my parents give me more pocket money, then I will be happy. Or when I'm in the school, I think, oh, when I go to college, then I will be happy. When I'm in college, I think, oh, let me get my girlfriend slash boyfriend, then I will be happy. Then I should get married and then I'll be happy. So the tendency of the mind is to postpone happiness or to find hooks for it. So, but really, happiness is something that you can experience it at any moment, and you can create it yourself. And really, we'll talk about it how. So 20 years ago or something, there was a scientist from University of Berkeley who created this theory around happiness, where she said that 50% of our happiness is determined by our genetics. So some people are genetically more prone to be more anxious or more prone to be, depressed or schizophrenia. It's like they can have mental health disorders because of their genetics. And then 10% of our happiness is determined by our circumstances. Actually, this should not by our life situation can determine our happiness. And 40% is, it says, is actually opposite here. 40% is our state of mind. So what kind of actions we do, what kind of life choices we make, that's a big chunk of how we determine our happiness. So in this 40%, we will talk about the role of the mind-body interventions. So in this 40% that we have, that we can make actions or we can take actions or we can do things in our life to increase our happiness, we will talk about that today. And also success. Many people think that once you are successful, you will get happiness. But actually, it's the opposite. A lot of research is now showing that happiness comes before success. People who are happy, they take better decisions, and we will investigate that how. We will, as we go in the presentation, I will show you the science behind it. That why is it that when we are happy, we take better decisions? When we are stressed, we take poor decisions. Our cognitive abilities are suppressed. And we will talk about that how. So success and happiness are very connected, but it's not like success brings happiness. It's actually the happiness that brings success. Because there are so much research now around it, which shows that unhappy employees take more sick days than happy employees. Happy employees also make better sales. They've done more research in terms of sales here. And also happiness increases productivity. But most importantly, if you are happy, you live longer. There's another research from Harvard that says that as we are growing older in life, if we have a way to connect with something higher than ourselves, if we can remain happy by contributing to the society, we actually do live longer and have a more fulfilling life. So success and happiness are very much connected, but don't be under the impression that success brings happiness. It's actually happiness that brings success. So let's go back to our happiness pie. And we see that 40% of our happiness is determined by our of mind or the actions that we can take. So now in that, what is the role of mind and body? Now, if I was to ask you, do you think your mind and body are connected? What would you say? What would you say? You can type your responses in the chat. Do you think your mind and body are connected? They are connected, right? I'll give you a very small example. And when you are, how many times you remember? I don't know if any of you experienced that, but when we were kids and when we would have an exam the next day and we were very anxious, we would go to the bathroom a little bit more, right? or our palms will become sweaty. Anybody experience that? Or you get tension headaches. So our body and mind are connected, right? And breath is a connection, is a very important tool or very important function of our body that mediates that connection. Now, breath by itself is so beautiful that I can give a whole talk just on the breath itself. But for the purposes of this lecture, we need to understand that body and mind are connected and breath mediates that connection. A very simple example I'll give you. How do you breathe when you are angry? Have you ever seen somebody go, ah, I'm so angry? Have you seen that? No, right? When we breathe, when we are angry, our breath is very shallow. Or when somebody is very sad, how do they breathe? Right? The exhale is so much longer. Or when they get a surprise, they're like, ah! Nobody goes in a surprise like, ah, what a surprise. No, right? So the breath and the mind are very much connected. And obviously your body and the breath are connected. If you stop breathing, what will happen to your body? Right? The body might remain, but you will not remain. So the body, breath, mind are connected. Now in the Western science, for many years, they used to believe that emotions and mind have no role to play in the health of the body. So health of the body is completely separate and mind and breath are completely separate. But over time, they have also understood that it doesn't work like that. And the rishis in India, I would say 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, the rishis we had in India knew this connection. And that's how they developed so many techniques that we call yoga today, which harness this mind-body connection. So as we go more into it, we realize what is one of the major things in our body that mediates this mind-body connection for giving us happiness and success. It's called the vagus nerve. I'm sure you've heard that term. If you have not heard that term, it's a very popular term now. Vagus nerve is it's a 10th cranial nerve in our body. It's the longest nerve in our body. So it starts from the back of your head here and it goes all the way down to your anus. And it affects and it touches, as you can see in this very simplified representation, it touches almost every single major organ of your body. It has an impact on. This nerve is very important because it is one of the very few nerves in the body who not only relay signals from the brain to the body, but also relay signals from the body to the brain. Most of the nerves in our body do one directional communication. So brain says, do something and nerves just pass on that message to the muscles and muscles act. But this nerve, vagus nerve, actually takes messages both ways. So this is a very fascinating nerve. So what is vagus nerve? It is the longest cranial nerve, wanders from brain to colon. Vega in Latin means wander. It is not based on Las Vegas, in case you are confused. So Vega in Latin means to wander. So this nerve wanders around the body and it's the longest nerve. And it wanders all the way from the brain to your colon. It is one of the few nerves in the body that have a bidirectional communication between the brain and body. It contributes to autonomic nervous system and is a command center for parasympathetic nervous system. Now, I will explain these two terms in just a minute. Yeah. So what is the role of vagus nerve in the body? It regulates heart rate and blood pressure. It improves emotional regulation, reduction of depression and anxiety. This is very important. It is essential for chewing, breathing, chewing, taste, swallowing, and speech. So if your vagus nerve stops working, you lose your taste. It reduces inflammation in the body, improves kidney and bladder function. It even regulates your fertility. Nowadays in India, infertility is a very big problem. You will see now IVF business is booming in India. IVF is in vitro fertility. And most of the infertility in India is stress-based. So if you talk to any fertility specialist, they will say most cases in India that come to them for infertility are stress related unexplained infertility that happens because of stress and poor lifestyle. Vagus nerve has a role in that. Now, vagus nerve also impacts your digestion and keeps your gut healthy. It increases social bonding and positive relationships. So, aap bataiye, what function is not there, which is so important? It has your heart, it has your breathing, it has your inflammation, kidney, bladder, every major function in the body is impacted by vagus nerve. And it is one of the most important nerves in our body. Now, we talked about autonomic and parasympathetic, so I'll simplify that a little bit. Now, when I say autonomic nervous system or vagus nerve contributes to autonomic nervous system, so I'll explain that a little bit. I don't want to make it too technical, but I will explain that a little bit. So our autonomic nervous system has two arms. One is called sympathetic and one is called parasympathetic. Now, many people, when they hear this term for the first time, they think sympathetic means sympathizing. So it's a slow nervous system. No, it's the opposite. So how do I explain this? So in your body, let me explain like this. In your body, you have multiple functions, right? So today, right now, you're listening to me, aren't you? I hope everybody is listening to me. If I say, okay, now everybody raise your right hand, you can do that. If I say everybody put your right hand down, you can do that. Yeah. So that is something called as voluntary function in the body. Now today, if I want to stop speaking right now, I can stop speaking, right? Whether I choose to speak or not is a voluntary function in the body. But for most people, but if I ask you, can you control your heart rate right now? Can you make your heart beat at 70 beats per minute at this moment? Can you do that? You can't. Okay, if I say, can you make your digestion faster or slower by your own thinking or by saying, okay, now my digestion go faster? Can you do that? You can't, isn't it? So there are two types of functions in the body. One is called a voluntary function, which is basically what we can control. And one is called an involuntary function, which you can't control, like a heart rate, blood pressure, the rate at which our eyes blink, or our digestion, or our fertility. These are all involuntary functions. You can't control them. You know why breathing is so important? Because breathing is the only function in the body which you can make voluntary and involuntary, isn't it? You can control your breathing, but when you're not paying attention, the breathing works on its own. That's why it is such a beautiful function, and that is why the yogis used breathing as a way to mediate this connection between the mind and body, because you can control it as well as it works on its own. So this autonomic nervous system that I'm talking about controls all the involuntary functions. Why am I sharing all this? It will all make sense towards the end. So it controls all our involuntary functions which we can't control. And these are the functions that mostly determine our health. See, nowadays, if we get sick, it is mostly because of these functions. Digestion is poor, metabolism is poor, something is wrong with heart rate, something is wrong with blood pressure. All these things only make us sick. So this autonomic nervous system is controlling most of the functions that make you unhappy. So that has two arms, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is what our body gets into when we are stressed. So imagine, suppose you are going to get a very big review tomorrow, like you are going for a performance review. How do you feel at that point of time? Right? You feel a little nervous, you feel like, or somebody's coming to fight with you. How do you feel at that time? That time when your body goes into fight or flight mode, that is sympathetic nervous system. That your heart rate goes up. You know how you feel, right? Your pupils are dilated, you're getting ready to fight. And the parasympathetic is opposite of that. When you're completely calm and, rested, and, you are very shant, and, you are at peace with yourself. Like most of you are right now, I'm hoping. You're not worried, you're not stressed in this moment. You're just sitting there listening to me, enjoying the information that is being given to you. In this moment, When that happens, when our body goes into an autonomic nervous system, that's when our body heals itself. So our digestion improves, our respiration improves. In fact, in our brain, new neural pathways are formed when we are in this situation. So many of us, sometimes we get constipation when we are stressed. When you travel, when you go to a new place, you're a little stressed, you get constipation. You know, these small things in our body indicate to us what is the situation in our body. So when this parasympathetic nervous system is active, then you can imagine you are in rest and digest state. And this parasympathetic nervous system is moderated by our vagus nerve. That is what is the most important thing. And that is how our vagus nerve has a very big role to play in our happiness. So now that we understand this is just a figure that explains this. So now let's talk about why is talking about this autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic, non-parasympathetic, why is it important? Let's look at our lifestyle today. Okay, what is our lifestyle today? We all have work deadlines, right? Most of us have poor nutrition. Most of us eat junk food. We don't eat on time. I'm compared to my grandparents or compared to my, our grandparents or our parents. I mean, I don't think we eat as well. And our children are eating even more poor than us. Yeah. Most of us are addicted to social media. We spend a lot of time online. Most of us are sleep deprived. Yeah. So, and most of us, maybe not most, but some of us definitely have a lack of healthy relationships. So what happens when all this happens? See, in the past, when we used to perceive a threat, like for example, somebody is going to attack us, or we don't have enough food for tomorrow, then our sympathetic nervous system gets activated. But nowadays, our sympathetic nervous system gets activated because of all these things. Right now, I don't know if you're aware, but there's an election results coming out in US. And so many of my friends are so stressed. What will happen? What will happen? So on a daily basis, we go through these situations that make us stressed. And because when they make us stress, they activate a system in our body that releases some hormones, which creates our nervous system to go into a sympathetic dominance, means it can't rest. And that creates depression, anxiety, insomnia, ADHD, autism, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, stroke, diabetes, obesity. So this cycle of being in chronic stress and not being able to digest, how many of you, I want to ask you, how many of you can go to sleep the minute your head hits the pillow? How many of you can do that? I really would like to know. How many of you can just your head hits the pillow and you go to sleep? Or for how many of you it takes a good 20 minutes, half an hour? Or for how many of you can't even sleep even if you want to? Yeah? Yeah. So if you are one of those people whose head can just hit the pillow and you can go to sleep, you are one of the very fortunate ones. Because most people in this world are now facing insomnia. Even children have insomnia. And this device that we carry into our beds is one of the main reasons why we can't fall asleep at night, and our sleep patterns are all disturbed, especially in this pandemic, isn't it? Especially in this pandemic, everybody is binge watching Netflix, Amazon Prime. We're all cooped up in our house. Yeah. So in the pandemic, these things have sort of worsened. Our mental health has even gone down in this pandemic. In fact, Indian Psychiatry Association says that more than 50% of Indians now have a mental health issue, like they're either depressed or anxiety or something. I'm just going to take a pause here and read the comments if something has come on the chat. Yeah, some people are saying I can feel 5 minutes. Depends on the mind. Very nice. Somebody said it depends on my mind. That's extremely important, because the mind you cannot control with the mind. If I tell you, okay, don't think about a pink elephant dancing in the room. Definitely don't think about a pink elephant like you've never seen a pink elephant, right? So don't think about a pink elephant dancing in the room. Absolutely don't think about a pink elephant dancing in the room. नहीं सोचना है बिल्कुल. No thinking about pink elephant. What does the mind go to? The mind goes to the pink elephant, isn't it? So that depends on that's the state of our mind. We cannot push the mind with the mind, and sleep doesn't come in a worried mind. So we'll talk about how to improve our sleep. Somebody said it depends on your day whether you can sleep or not. I think that's also very important. The kind of food you have eaten, the kind of stress if you've had during the day, whether you've been able to activate your vagus nerve or not. So we'll talk about all those things. Few people claim that it's possible to control the mind with meditation. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The mind cannot be controlled with the mind, but the mind can be controlled with the breath. And we will talk about that in a few minutes. So here we are talking about the sympathetic dominance. Yeah, that creates diseases in the body. Now, how do you cut this sympathetic dominance? Is through vagus nerve activation. If you can activate your vagus nerve, then you bring parasympathetic nervous system, which can relax your body, right? So how do you activate your vagus nerve? And like I said, there are many ways to activate the vagus nerve. Yeah, let's talk about this first. So there are many ways to activate your vagus nerve. I will not say there is only one way to activate your vagus nerve. There are many ways to activate your vagus nerve. You can exercise, of course, yoga, meditation, breathing. In fact, even if you just take a few deep breaths and make your exhale longer than your inhale, you will start activating your vagus nerve. So there are many ways. You can splash cold water on your face. You can have an omega-3 rich diet, which means eating more walnuts. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't recommend eating fish because fish has a lot of toxic chemicals in it besides bringing omega-3. Indian diet is very rich in omega-3. You can have flax seeds, you can have walnuts, even singing and chanting. So if you do kirtan, if you participate in a kirtan, or if you sing or chant some mantras, that also activates your vagus nerve. Laughing activates your vagus nerve. Massaging activates your vagus nerve. You know, in Indian tradition, there is something called like this, a topakarna. I don't know if you know, if any of you know this, that at least in South India, they do that. In temple, they would go for puja and they will do this topakarna. This activates your vagus nerve. It's called topakarna. All you do is just with your knuckles, you massage, you tap on your palm, on your temples like that, few times. It's called topakarna. Even that can activate your vagus nerve. We used to do that. Yeah, in North we do that. So there are many ways to activate your vagus nerve. Positive social relationships, forgiving somebody, hugging somebody. Yeah. So all these things activate your vagus nerve. But in my mind, the most effective way of activating your vagus nerve is through our breath. Because breathing is something we do anyways 24/7, isn't it? So using our breath to activate our vagus nerve is something that can come naturally to us. What happens when we meditate or use breathing techniques? Then what happens? Our body's respiration slows down, our heart rate slows down. Then the vagus nerve notes, oh, the body is looking relaxed. The body is not, in a tension state. So like I said, vagus nerve can also signal the brain. So vagus nerve tells the brain, okay, now you calm down. You know, the body is doing well. So then the parasympathetic nervous system gets activated and then further it relaxes the body. So it becomes like a positive feedback cycle. So in this, here what I will talk about is a very unique technique, a breathing technique called Sudarshan Kriya Yoga that Art of Living teaches, but it has its roots in traditional yoga. It's comprised of pranayamas and a rhythmic breathing, and it is such an effective way to activate your vagus nerve. So I spent 5 minutes on it, and then we can actually, if you want, we can take questions. I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And then we can go into an experience of experiencing a little bit of meditation and breathing in the session. Yeah. So why am I talking about Sudarshan Kriya Yoga? Because I said breathe. Like I said, breathing is one of the most effective ways to activate your vagus nerve. Now, one of the easiest thing you can do with your breath to activate your vagus nerve is exhale longer. So inhale, and then when you exhale, make the exhale a little longer. And if you look at most pranayam, their exhale is very long. Yeah, that's why the exhale is long, because as you exhale longer, it activates the vagus nerve. But here we talk a little bit about Sudarshan Kriya. I am just somebody said people are asking about questions about sleeping. I will answer all questions towards the end. So we will have a time for, because we still have 1 hour, so we have a lot of time. So let me tell you about Sudarshan Kriya. It's, there is a lot of research on it, and it has been shown to impact various aspects of mental and physical health. It's a rhythmic breathing technique, like I said, taught by the Art of Living. 156 people in the 156 people from 156 countries in the world have experienced it. And it doesn't matter how old you are or which ethnicity you belong to, which gender you belong to, it works because breath is universal, isn't it? From the time we are born to the time we die, there is one thing we do 24/7 is breathing. I mean, is there anybody in this class, on this call, who is breathing only 12 hours a day? Anybody? No, right? So everybody is breathing 24 hours in a day. So using the power of our breath, we can actually manage the mind. So let me talk a little bit about that before I go into science. Somebody asked this question that some people say that with meditation they can control the mind. I completely agree with you. Like I said, the mind cannot be controlled with the mind. Like I said, if I say don't think of a pink elephant, what do you think about? The pink elephant. Suppose in a day you get 10 compliments. Somebody comes and says, Meena ji, oh, you look so beautiful, Meena ji. Meena ji, your dress is so nice. Meena ji, you speak so well. Meena ji, you're so articulate. Meena ji, so beautiful you look. So Meena ji gets 10 compliments. And then somebody comes and says, but Meena ji, this, this dish you made had a little too much salt in it. And especially if that person who gives that compliment is, who gives that comment is from the husband's family side, then it matters even more. So when Meena ji goes to bed at night, what does she think about? All of us, not just Meena ji, we will think about that one negative thing that happened to us, to our mind.
Yeah.
Why did that person say that about my dish? I made such nice dish. And we forget about all the positive things that happened to us. So the nature of the mind is to cling to the negative. The nature of the mind is such that it will cling to the negative, and it won't stop thinking just by saying, okay, mind, now stop thinking. It won't stop thinking. So what can you do to control your mind? What can you do to manage your mind? And for us, the major cause of unhappiness is our own mind. See, all of us, we don't have to worry about, at least people who are on this call, we don't have to worry about where is our next meal coming from, or whether we will have a roof on our head or not. Right? We have our basic needs covered. So then what makes us happy or unhappy is our own mind. So how do you manage the mind? Like I said, the mind and the breath are connected. Isn't it? By every emotion that we have has a corresponding pattern of breath associated with it. I'll give you a homework, all of you. Do one thing today or tomorrow, whenever. Watch somebody watching a movie. So if you're living with somebody, you watch them when they are watching something on the TV, when they are watching a movie. You will see, don't tell them you're watching them, but you will see that as the things on the screen change, if it's a romantic scene or a fight scene, you will see their breathing pattern will change. Without them noticing, they will suddenly start breathing shallow, they will breathe deeply. You will notice that. people, even when we are watching TV, with what is happening on the screen, TV or whatever, Netflix or whatever they're watching, based on what they're watching, their breathing pattern will change. So our mind is connected to our breath. So using our breath, we can make it a two-way street. We can make it that not only does an emotion come, our breathing pattern changes, but by changing our breathing pattern, can we change our emotions? And that is what the Sudarshan Kriya does. So through the rhythmic patterns of breath, it allows one to actually get a handle on their mind and emotions. So it has been now for 40 years, this technique has been around. Millions of people have experienced it. Meena ji herself has experienced it. She was sharing. So how do we know that Sudarshan Kriya stimulates vagus nerve? So research has been done that shows that after doing, when I say long Kriya, I mean there are two versions of Kriya, long and short, but they both are Sudarshan Kriya. And when I say increased HRV, it just means heart rate variability. So you don't need to worry about that. And increased RSA. So these are ways you can measure vagus nerve activity. So obviously, how will you measure if your vagus nerve is active? You have to use some technique to measure it, right? So either heart rate variability is one technique, rhythmic sinus arrhythmia is another technique. Basically, it just shows you whether your vagus nerve is active or not. So higher the HRV, more the vagus nerve activation. Higher the RSA, more the vagus nerve activation. So research shows that Sudarshan Kriya stimulates a vagus nerve. But what is important, which we have not seen anywhere else, is that Sudarshan Kriya doesn't just stimulate the vagus nerve. Sudarshan Kriya is not like taking an anti-acid pill. Oh, if you take an anti-acid pill, it will work the same way. It actually brings our body into a sympathovagal balance. Means what? See, around you, is everybody the same type of person? No, right? There are some people whom we call type A personality, you know, who are very driven, who are very organized, who if they want to do something, they will just go in that moment and do it. Yeah, anybody can relate to that? Such people around you? I'm one of them. Then the other type of people are called, which we call who are a little bit more laid back, who are, who also get things done, but they're a little bit less. They don't get so worried. They're a little bit laid back, and they life is not so stressful for them because they don't take so much stress on themselves. So what we did a research, what we found was when we did a research on Sudarshan Kriya and vagus nerve activation, we found that people who are very, very type A type personality, they have high sympathetic nervous system activation. Yeah, because they're always like, ye karna, I have to do this, I have to do this. For them, Sudarshan Kriya activated the parasympathetic nervous system and brought them into balance. But the type B people, initially their parasympathetic is very, very active. That's why they don't feel much of a drive to do anything. So for them, Sudarshan Kriya actually activated sympathetic. So it's not like a pill that will act in the same way for everyone. Sudarshan Kriya will, and I would say not just Sudarshan Kriya, any yoga based technique, any meditation technique works according to your physiology, works according to where you are in life. What do you need? What does your body need? What does your mind need? So that is the beauty of these things, that they are not just about it's not like Tylenol or Crocin that everybody gets it, everybody has the same type of a reaction. It is about what you need in life. What does your physiology need? So any yoga techniques, we have done research on Sudarshan Kriya, so we can share this. Such a research I don't think has been done for many other techniques. We have not, at least I have not come across such a mechanism of action. So this is beautiful because yoga, meditation, the mind body interventions Bring your body into a balance. And that is what is important for you to be happy. See, everybody needs different things to be happy, right? Some people need to slow down to be happy. Some people need to speed up to be happy. So wherever you are, these techniques bring you to a point where you feel more in balance, you feel more healthy. And of course, there are many more research studies on Sudarshan Kriya because people saw all these benefits. So they started researching. Then they found that 67% of population, when they do Sudarshan Kriya, they find reduction in depression. And these are people with mild to moderate depression. Then reduction in anxiety, relieving of stress, reduced PTSD symptoms, improved emotional regulation, improved sleep. That is very important. Improved happiness, joy. There's so much research around it. And on a physical level, improved brain function. Our brain has different types of waves. And what they found was by doing Sudarshan Kriya, you can come into a space of relaxed awareness. See, when we are very aware, when we are very sometimes when we have a very important deadline to meet, we are very aware. But in that moment, we are not relaxed, right? And when we are very relaxed, we are not aware. So Sudarshan Kriya puts us into a state where we are relaxed and aware at the same time. Yeah. And then, like I said, the first Sudarshan Kriya was conducted in NIMHANS on Sudarshan Kriya and depression, and they found that Sudarshan Kriya was as effective as taking an antidepressant for mild to moderate depression. Here is a figure that shows that people who do Sudarshan Kriya, they had the same remission, same effect, and as people who are taking a antidepressant medicine. So it is that effective. Similarly, there was a study done in University of Pennsylvania where it showed that people with generalized anxiety disorder. Now, what is generalized anxiety disorder? Like just feeling worried or feeling anxious for no reason at all. And you would not believe so many people suffer from it in the world. These are the people that you, in this study, people who were not even responding to medication. And when they did Sudarshan Kriya, they found such a drop. More than 50% of the population experienced a huge drop in their symptoms in just 4 weeks or so. So, we don't have to always resort to either not handling our poor mental health or taking medication. We can do some yoga type breathing exercises. We can do some pranayam. We can do Sudarshan Kriya and improve our mental health. Now, this is for normal people like you and I. But it even works on militants. Like in the international center I live in, we had a cohort of 219 surrendered militants from Assam who came and lived there for 40 days. And we found that even in them, just by doing Sudarshan Kriya for 40 days, we found such reduction in aggression, improvement in satisfaction with life, improvement in quality of life. Imagine, so many of them said that they don't want to now resort to aggression and anger and hostile behavior. But isn't it amazing? Like all of us face anger, all of us, especially in this pandemic, people are experiencing more and more poor mental health, more and more aggression. There is domestic violence between families. So just by taking a few minutes a day, using our breath to modulate our mind and body, we can have such an improved life. We can have more happiness. We can have a better healthy body. We can even have better leadership, right? I was talking about happiness and success. So bringing it back to that, when our vagus nerve is suppressed, then there is a part of our brain called prefrontal cortex, which is here. That is responsible for all our executive decisions or higher level cognition. So when the vagus nerve is suppressed, this part of the brain doesn't work as well. So you do not make very good decisions when your vagus nerve is suppressed. When your vagus nerve is suppressed, you can't be creative. And there's research that shows that, see, when someone is talking to us, especially for men when they listen to women, or women when they listen to women, they focus more on the tone of the voice than the actual words. And sometimes a lot of arguments happen because we are focused on the tone of the voice and not on what the person is saying. So when your vagus nerve is suppressed, you are not able to really understand what the person is saying. You get stuck into the emotional response to what they're saying, and that's how arguments happen. So it is not about just having good vagus nerve activation, is not just about having better mental health. It impacts every area of your life. It impacts your relationships, it impacts your creativity, your leadership abilities, your decision making. So by just spending a few minutes a day, whether you do tapping or you do a massage, or you know uh, do some breathing, yoga, pranayam, you can actually activate your vagus nerve and bring more happiness and success in your life. Wouldn't you want that, using a natural way to bring more happiness and success in your life? Yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. And I'm happy to take questions. And then we will go into a meditation exercise. Somebody has asked me, sleeping on right side or left side is good. Both are okay. However, right after you eat food, it is good to sleep on your left side. Left side, yeah, this side. Because the way our stomach is structured, if we sleep on our left side, it's good for our digestion. However, sleeping on your right side in general activates your vagus nerve. So if you're eating, you've just eaten and you're lying down, then lie on your left side. But in general, sleeping on the right side is good because it activates your vagus nerve and your parasympathetic nervous system, and it makes you more relaxed. I'm just looking in the chat for questions. Somebody has said that, yeah, somebody said that, if there's a negative event during a day, it stays with them the entire day and they are not able to, get over it, and it creates a headache. So I hope I responded to you by saying that you cannot control the mind with the mind. In that moment, if you can just do a little bit of pranayam and meditate, it'll help. So I will teach you one pranayam today in the session. Also, online, if you go, there are so many guided meditations. If you just Google on YouTube, if you just search Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar guided meditations, there are so many guided meditations now, on apps and on YouTube that you can use. But we will also learn one pranayam today. Smiling will reduce mental tension. Can you brief about that? Smiling, actually, research shows that when we smile, we activate our parasympathetic nervous system. But but if you go around smiling like this for no reason at all, people will think that you need to be put into a, in an institution. But definitely, they say fake it till you make it. So smiling is good, but it's beautiful if we can do a little bit of exercises that bring a natural smile outside. Yeah. Any other question? How to resolve the problem of insomnia? Yes, I think one of the biggest things you can do for insomnia is couple of things you can do for your sleep. So just like you have mental hygiene, and physical hygiene. So first we had physical hygiene, right? We have to take a bath every day. Then we have a dental hygiene, which is, brushing our teeth. Similarly, now we have mental hygiene, keeping our mind fresh and not so tense. Now there is something called a sleep hygiene, because more and more and more people are facing insomnia. So I will give you 2 or 3 tips you can do. One, stop using your smartphone or your laptop at least 1 hour before you're going to bed. Okay. because the blue light in the smartphone, in the laptop, really affects our. So sleep is a beautiful pattern in which our different hormones work to bring sleep onto us. And what happens is that when the blue light from the camera, from the smartphone, impedes the production of that hormone that can make you fall asleep. So even if you're using your smartphone, please use blue light filters. You can download an app that can put a blue light filter, and that can remove the blue light from the screen. The one That's one thing. Second thing is, do a little exercise during the day. If you feel if your body's a little bit tired, you will fall asleep better. The third thing you can do is, there is in yoga, there is a thing called yoga nidra. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called yoga nidra. Yoga nidra. If you go on YouTube and Google and search yoga nidra by Sri Sri or Gurudev, you can find a lot of yoga nidras. So by putting a yoga nidra, you put yourself in a space of yogic sleep. So that helps. Then there are many remedies like drink warm milk, all that. But I think that if you can figure out a way to exercise a little bit, clear your mind of tension by meditating or doing Sudarshan Kriya, then restrict your phone and laptop usage before bed. It'll help. And the right breathing pattern 4-4-4 for good benefits. Now, somebody has asked me about the breathing pattern for breathing exercise. Now, there are multiple types of breathing exercise. What I would recommend is, if you're doing a pranayam, it's good to keep the exhale a little bit longer. So we will talk a little bit about, we will learn one pranayam today. But if you are doing 4-4-4, it's fine. But I would say that exhale should be a little bit longer. Will the sky relieve old person from Parkinson's? I honestly cannot give a response to this, because it depends on how old they are and how much the disease has progressed. But I can definitely tell you that if you practice Sudarshan Kriya or any other yoga meditation technique, your brain will definitely be healthier. So you will be able to avoid Parkinson's, even if, for future generations, you will be able to avoid getting that disease. So there is a research that shows that people who meditate, their brains have a thicker cortical matter. So as we grow older, the brain cells in our brain start dying, and our gray matter becomes thinner and lesser and lesser. But people who meditate, their gray matter is better. And in fact, a brain of a 50-year-old meditator, the quality of the brain is same as that of a 25-year-old. So I do not know at this point of time, for that specific person you are asking about, if it will help, but definitely it will help. That much I can tell you, and meditation will also help. But for young people, for people like us, if we do Sudarshan Kriya now, it will definitely keep our brain healthier. How to avoid mind chatter during sleep? Do some pranayam before you go to bed. The pranayam I'm teaching you today, we'll learn today. You can use that before you go to bed. It will really avoid mind chatter. Somebody has asked me, again, there's another question about insomnia and not taking sleeping pills. My request to you will be, please experience Sudarshan Kriya or meditation. Meditation and Sudarshan Kriya both can really help you overcome insomnia. They can really, because I know in this COVID time, there's a lot of insomnia. So like I said, you can meditate, you can practice yoga nidra, very, very good yoga nidra. If you can do online, you can get so many videos. Gurudev Sri Sri's video is like the yoga nidra is very, very nice. You can do that. And please do not worry so much. Life, so many challenges you have been through, so many challenges will come. But worrying doesn't really help us, and it only makes our sleep go away. So somebody asked, the other question is, stress has become an integral part for most of us. How do we reduce it? All these things I spoke about. So, exercising, doing yoga, meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, um, uh, eating habits. Your eating habits should be healthy, less junk food, more fresh food, vegetarian diet. So all these things can, if you have a good lifestyle and you do some self care, the best way to do a self care is to meditate and do pranayam, Sudarshan Kriya, etc. Then you can definitely achieve sustainable inner happiness, because you cannot avoid stress. Stress is very much a part of our life, but we can improve our ability to handle stress. And by using mind body interventions, which are based on ancient knowledge of yoga, it really helps. Again, we somebody has asked about Sudarshan Kriya detoxing our body and mind. Yes, it does that. Somebody has asked for a demo session. I will explain to you. How do you control your mind during meditation? So that's another topic altogether. But one thing I'll tell you is that meditation is not about controlling the mind. Meditation is doing nothing. Many people think that they can control the mind during meditation. But tell me one thing, you cannot even know what thought you are going to get in the next second. How can you control your mind? So really, we let our mind go wherever it is, but we close our eyes and whatever the instruction is being given, we follow that. We'll experience it today. But don't worry about the mind. When you are meditating, let the mind go free wherever it wants to go. Which pranayam better before going to sleep? I'll teach you one pranayam, alternate nostril pranayam, that you can do before going to sleep. You can also do Ujjayi breathing before going to sleep. But again, I would say just put Yoga Nidra on YouTube, and you can also, that can also help. Any other questions you have, or should we move into an experience of breathing and meditation? Neena ji, what do you recommend?
Experience is always better.
Yeah. And if there's time after
And
that,
yes.
we will take
Yeah.
more questions. Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
We must go for an experience, beautiful experience. Yes.
Okay. So I will now demonstrate and teach you a breathing technique, and then I will guide you into a meditation. So when I guide you into a meditation, you do not have to worry about, so much about the instruction, etc. So like I said, meditation is doing nothing. We are so used to doing something all the time, right? We are always doing something. So contrary to what we think, meditation is being effortless. It's doing nothing. And although there are no rules to meditation, but there are three guidelines, that we recommend when we meditate. The first one is achaha, aprayatna, akinchan. So the three, achaha, aprayatna, akinchan. So achaha means for the next few minutes that I'm going to be meditating, I don't want anything. Just for the next few minutes. After that, you can go back to wanting everything in your life. We are not stopping you from having desires and wanting things and achieving things. Of course, we would like you to do that. But for the next few minutes, while I'm meditating, I'm achaha. I don't want anything, because wanting something during the meditation won't let you meditate. Second is aprayatna. I don't do anything. That is a difficult one, because we are so used to doing something at all time. But neither am I trying to meditate, neither am I trying to concentrate. So aprayatna. And third is akinchan. I am nothing. Just for the few minutes that we are meditating, I am nothing. Otherwise, of course, we are a mother, we are a brother, we are a sister, we are a teacher, we are, whatever else we are, engineer. So these are the three things we'll keep in mind when we meditate. One last, because it's connected to meditation. So some people think that some people go into sleep while meditation. What is the difference between sleep and meditation? So I'll tell you, when we meditate or when we do any kind of exercise that allows us to rest deeply, the first thing our body wants to do is catch up on its fatigue, wants to catch up on the all the rest we have not given it by staying up at night, not allowing it to sleep enough. So in the beginning, meditation can feel like sleeping, and you might actually can experience sleep during meditation if you're very, very tired, but it doesn't stay. Once the body is rested, sleep and meditation are not the same. You will experience it. I'll give you a very simple example. When you come out of meditation, how do you feel? If you feel very groggy and if you feel very, there's a drool coming out of your mouth, then you definitely went to sleep. But if you feel alert and if you feel very active, then you are meditating, not sleeping. They can seem similar, but they're not the same. So how you feel after the meditation will show you whether you were sleeping or you were meditating. Okay, so so let's begin. We will learn a short breathing technique which you already, some of you know a version of it called Anulom Vilom. We call it Nadi Shodhan. It's basically alternate nostril breathing, and it is very, very scientific. It is so scientific. It totally balances your brain, balances your autonomic nervous system. It is not, it is such a scientific breathing technique. We will learn that. However, to do that breathing technique, your nostrils have to be open. If both your nostrils are not open, if one of your nostril is closed, then I would recommend that you don't force yourself. You just practice deep breathing and with your exhalation longer. Yeah. But those of you who can do it with me, please do it with me. How you do it is you keep your left hand on your lap, palm facing the sky, and your right hand, your nostril comes on your thumb comes on your right nostril, your middle fingers, the index finger and the tallest finger comes in between your eyebrows, and your ring finger is on your left nostril. Yeah, so all of us can come in that position. You can close your eyes. Once you see me, I'm going to close my eyes now, and once you are familiar with it, you can close your eyes also. Now what you will do is with your thumb, you will gently close your right nostril and you will exhale from the left. Now you will breathe in from the left, close the left and exhale from the right. Now breathe in through the right, close the right, exhale from the left. Breathe in through the left, close the left, exhale from the right. Breathe in through the right, close the right, exhale through the left. Breathe in through the left, close the left, exhale through the right. You can close your eyes and continue at your own pace. You can keep the eyes closed, nothing to see here. Keep breathing from alternate nostrils. Allow the mind to settle down, or if it's running all over the place, never mind. Continue. This is an amazing breathing technique. It'll settle your mind. It'll help you go to sleep. It'll improve your concentration. It will give you so many benefits. Just doing this breathing techniques 5 to 10 minutes a day, twice or thrice a day, will give you so many benefits. Breathing in from the right or the left, wherever you are. Close the nostril, breathe out from the alternate nostril. Breathe in, Close, breathe out at your own pace. As slow and long you can make your breath, the better it is. Don't get bored. Don't think, oh, what's next? Just know that by this breathing technique only, you can help yourself so much achieve more happiness and success. And breathing out from the left, you can complete the round you're on and keep the eyes closed. Now, no, for the next few minutes, just keep the eyes closed and just listen to the instructions that are being given to you lightly. Like I said, meditation is doing nothing. So, for the next few minutes, we will let ourselves be. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Another deep breath in and let go. And become aware of all the sounds around you. The sounds of the fan or the air conditioning if the room that you are in has it. The sound of the traffic around you or people talking around you. The sound of your own breath. Become aware of all the sounds around you. You are now in harmony with all the sounds around you. Another breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your body. Your body is a beautiful gift given by nature to you. Honor your body. One more breath in and let go and relax your feet. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs and hips. Relax your abdomen. Stomach. Chest. Shoulders. Right arm. Left arm. Face and neck. And top of the head. Your whole body. Your whole body. Become aware of your thoughts. However many they are, just let them be. Let the thoughts pass through you like clouds in the sky. Do not resist or reject any thought. Just let them be. Another breath in. Let go. Become aware of your feelings. Pleasant feelings or unpleasant feelings, do not resist. Let them be. You are peace. You are joy. You are love. Keep the eyes closed. And whatever experience you are having, just let it be. There is nothing right or wrong in your experience. Just let it be. Become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of your body. And surroundings. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Another breath in. Breathe out. Become more aware of body and surroundings. And whenever you feel complete, whenever you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. Take your own time. Was it good? How do you feel right now? You can share in chat. Was it good for you? How was your experience? Relaxed. Excellent. Calm, yeah. And see, we did it for such a short time. It's not like we had to do it for hours and hours to feel an impact. Yeah. In such a short span of time, you felt an impact, didn't you? This is the power of our breath and how it can modulate our mind and body to, to make us feel more happy, more calm, more relaxed. And if you were to work now, let's say you had to work now, would you make less mistakes or more mistakes? You'll make less mistakes, right? Yeah. So important part in being successful is to make less mistakes, right? Yeah. So this is the power of our breath, and using our breath and our mind and meditation to make our mind and body more healthy. So good. Any questions? When to do it? It's good to have, well, that's a very good question. It's always good to do pranayam and meditation and these techniques, not on a full stomach, on a slightly empty stomach. It's better. So you can practice it on your own, and there are the breathing technique you can do on your own, and there are many resources on YouTube. You can go and Google Art of Living or Gurdev, and you can find many resources that you can use. Yeah, very nice. Somebody's mentioning the 21-day meditation challenge that Art of Living had done a few weeks ago. Yes. Good. So thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. Meena ji or Abhi kuch hai?
Haji. Thank you very much, Divya ji, for the meditation. And people are not at all asking question. They have gone down, deep down in the meditation.
That's good. That's good. नहीं बहुत सारे questions to answer we responded, and
Which in between.
yeah. And
In between
these
they
are
were done. So
and few minutes a day if we can take time out to take care of ourselves, and there is science behind it also, so it's both right and the left brain both are balanced. So on this note, I hope the rest of your sessions are also balancing both your brains, both the sides of your brain.
certainly. Huh?
And thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
You rather it's our pleasure that you spared time for all of us and gave us beautiful insights, the vagus nerve and all, how the system is working, sympathetic and parasympathetic and all. Wonderful. So because both the balancing has to be there, na? Logical mind and the our right brain and left brain.
Both has to.
So it's a complete balanced thing you have given to us. So we have our panelist Anand Agarwal ji with us, and Hampama ji. Huh? Are you there? Anand Agarwal ji, you can unmute yourself and you can share something. Okay, I'll unmute her. Okay.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello, ma'am. It was really nice to have this session with you. While I did one engineering course of Guruji during the COVID times, sometime in the month of May. But the challenge which I personally face, and I'm sure many of the people would be facing in our daily life of this I am from a corporate world basically. So in our corporate, I will face the challenge of daily rat race of you have to do a lot of things here and there. So in the process, you miss these things and you're not able to sustain these things basically. So I would be happy if you can give us some baby steps which we can start taking to build this journey toward this holistic development. Because if you tell me, Anand, you do this 20 things or 30 minutes in a day, I may do for 1 or 2 days. So it is fresh in my mind. But after 3 days, I will start slowly. I will start learning. So what should we do in coming up with it?
Very nice. Huh? I suppose this must be the question of very many people, because this happens. This is human nature. Huh?
Yeah.
Please guide about this.
So you're asking about the lack of time, right? That's what you're saying.
So one is lack of time and other is in terms
Where
of
to start?
where to start, or initiative or some kind of enthusiasm.
Correct.
Yeah, let's.
Correct.
कल कर लेंगे, चलो यार आज नहीं, अभी थोड़ी देर कर लेंगे, आज शाम को कर लेंगे.
Correct. So there are three, four things you are saying. So one thing I would say is that you really want to talk about baby steps, and the technique we have learned today, alternate nostril pranayam, nadi shodhan, is a great place to start. And whenever you have time, you can go on YouTube and do guided meditations with Gurudev. If you can take out the time, invest some time to build a personal practice for yourself. Most of us, which we have done, the home practice that we get, at least after doing the Art of Living course, doesn't take more than 20 to 25 minutes, and that's worth investing our time in. So I'll ask you a small question. See, in the house there are multiple people living in a house. Okay, so there is one old grandmother. She is 90, let's say. Okay, and she doesn't go out anywhere. She doesn't have to buy anything for the house or spend any money. So if all the money in the house is kept with her, is that useful to her? Or should the money be kept with the person who goes out and spends it to buy vegetables and groceries and supplies for the house? Who needs to keep money in their pocket?
I mean, typically it should be the person who buys the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Similarly, if we have a lifestyle where we don't need more energy, we have a life which is very chill, laid back, somebody's cooking for us, somebody's cleaning for us, we just have to sit and do a little bit, we don't need a lot of energy, don't meditate, don't invest the time, no need to do that, no need to meditate, no need to do Sudarshan Kriya, nothing. You don't need energy, no need. But if you have a life that requires too much from you, that demands a lot from you, then if you don't have energy, how are you going to give to people around you? How are you going to take care of all your responsibilities? You know what is stress? One definition of stress is when you have more to do and you have less time and energy to do it.
True, very true.
So if you don't need to spend energy, then no need to invest any time in doing any of these things. But the busier you are, the more you need to invest time to rejuvenate your own source of energy. So baby steps would be to learn a technique that takes probably 10 to 15, 20 minutes to do it. There are a lot of resources online. Try and experiment, see what works for you. But the busier you are, the more you need to invest time. And there are three motivating factors for anyone to do anything in life. One is love. When you love something, you don't need motivation to do it. And you can love meditation because you see the benefits or whatever. Second one is fear. If you worry that I will fall sick and I have to do something for my health, that's what makes most people exercise. Most people don't exercise because they love exercising. They exercise because they're afraid if they don't exercise, what will happen to their health. And the third thing that motivates people to do anything mostly is greed. So if somebody told you, I'll give you, so much money if you do this. So you can choose which factor motivates you, whether
Yeah.
it's love or fear
And
or
as such, as such, these factors are the beginning factors,
Beginning.
isn't it? And the things are meditation and doing exercises and this and that. They are so, I would use a word type contagious, or as you're doing into it, it's a auspicious circle. Rather, let us put it, let me put it that way, that it's an auspicious circle. You are doing it, and then that catches you. That pranayam and Sudarshan Kriya and all these techniques are like that. They catch up you. Then if you're not doing you feel something is missing. Oh,
it's
I
like
have not
brushing
done
your
yoga
teeth.
today, or I have not done.
It's like brushing your teeth, Meenaji. See, bache, when kids,
Yeah, it's
to
like, then
make
it
them
becomes
brush
like
their
brushing your
teeth
teeth.
is so difficult. Like they just won't brush their teeth. Children
As
don't like
keep
brushing their
clean.
teeth, but
We don't feel like come out of it.
we don't need to think about brushing our teeth. It's a habit. So till the time you get into a state where it's a habit like brushing your teeth, these 3-4 things can help.
Otherwise, then we keep enjoying. We if cycling and going out and enjoying the nature and doing meditation and all these things. These are real enjoyments and real contentment. These things are giving us to us. Yes, we have with us Gongadi madam. Yes, you wanted to ask something and you wanted to please share something.
Divya ji, many thanks for your session. I attended two programs from Art of Living. So one a year ago and very recently the second one. Of course, the first time when I attended, I could not continue the Sudarshan Kriya. But this time I'm doing that. And while doing so during the pranayam, while exhale and inhale, when it becomes long, after at the end of the exhale, I feel like it sounds like whistling. Is it right?
I mean, there's nothing wrong or right. If it's sounding like whistling, do you have congestion anywhere? Anywhere in your
No,
system? Nose or chest? No.
no.
Okay. Don't need to worry about it. You are feeling comfortable, no?
Yeah,
You don't
of
feel
course.
short of breath or you're not feeling uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
And then don't worry about it. You know, everybody's physiology is a little different. If it makes a little sound, don't worry. As long as you feel comfortable, you feel good, it's fine.
And normally, from wherever you have done, Sunday satsangs must be there. So if you are going there and rejoining, then it's that spark will be getting better and you'll feel better. Huh? Because when you feel people doing it, and then you can have many sharings over there. So such groups are there and such kirtans and everything. If you are joining, and you keep on listening, abhi to YouTube, it's available everywhere, all the things. Then if you keep on doing, then you become just flowing into it, and then you start enjoying and all, isn't it? So that way you
Yeah.
can also do it.
Thank you.
Yes, Divyaji, yes, it has been great.
Thank you. And enjoy the rest of your program. Have a lovely program. Nice to meet all of you.
Thank you so
Dhanyawad.
much. Thank you so much. Jai Gurudev. Thank you, Anandji. Thank you, Gongati madam. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Thanks a lot. We'll talk further. Okay. So, dear friends, next session, gear up and come back by 12:20, 12:25. We shall be having next session for great mind programming. We are geared up with our soul programming. We are ready with the meditation and pranayam. We have energized ourselves. And so next session, we will be going to program our mind in a great grand way with our Dr. Chaitanya Agarwalji at 12 sharp at 12:30 p.m. Okay. See you. Bye-bye.